I'll have to go
logos.
back through those pictures, babe, and I'll pull out the KKK
You're on the right
face.
there, I guess.
This
This is Maud Knorpp out in the parking lot of the KK Cafe. She's
You don't know
Kenneth's
that? I
mother.
didn't see that yesterday. Is that anybody? Any relationship?
You know,
or-
I
So you've been
3
in this
miles
for
west
3
of
years,
Fidelity.
3 miles west of Fidelity,
The
the
last
K
one
and
we
K
had.
restaurant.
Last one they had.
How'd those little restaurants do? Were they?
Extra good.
They were pretty successful.
It was during the Depression too that you ran those, or
Kind of when we started, yeah.
yeah, started in the Depression.
Coffee was 5 cents a cup.
Coffee was 5 cents a cup, huh?
And there at number 1, we raised it to 10 finally. Everybody up and down the whole
Wow.
truck line had raised to 10.
10 cents a cup.
10 cents a cup. Oh, everybody screamed because 5 truck lines broke on that lot, and the men out of the offices and things always come in there, you know,
Oh yeah.
to drink coffee.
Huh.
And they got 1 cup of coffee and sat there for 2 hours, and you kept pouring more coffee in it and started charging them the nickel. And we raised it to a dime, and oh, they got mad and got coffee pots of their own, you know, and took over at the office. So that lasted 2 or 3 days.
But
They
they
was
were
right back.
And then they came back. Gosh.
Kind of neat that Greg still has the plates. Never realized it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, our dinner plates was 75 cents.
That's how much. Oh, to eat?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What kind of food did you get on a dinner
Well,
plate?
you had 5 choices of meat, and you had 3 choices of vegetable and a salad, and then your pie was extra. It was 15 cents.
And these were, what years were you running these?
We went in there in 54 when we started.
54 when you started?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How'd you start? You just got a loan from the bank? Or?
Charles worked at the truck stop that was downtown. Of course, now there wasn't any freeways and things then. 66 run through Joplin.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a big truck stop there. And he worked there, and the boss sent him out there at 7th and Range Line and to look at that station and things out there for that man to buy. Well, Charles thought it looked like a good deal because a lot of traffic was starting on Range Line. They was building it up then. He thought it looked like a good deal. So he come and talked to Kenneth and see if Kenneth could raise a little money. And then he raised some money from a lady he knew that owned the property there where the station sat. And we mortgaged the farm for $300.
Oh,
Kinda
wow.
hurt. And it helped Jean and I went in the cafe then. That's how we got started.
Are any of the
With
buildings still up?
$300? Mortgaged the farm for $300 and that's how you got started?
During the Depression.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
And we worked 3 months, Jean and I did, 12-hour shift without a day off. To be sure it was going to go.
Oh, wow.
We saw it was, well then we hired a swing girl and just took an 8-hour shift.
Are there
Wow.
any of the buildings still up, or are they pretty much all torn down by now?
That's all tore down, that's where Target is.
That was, oh, it's the Target. That's where the Target store.
I wish I would have kept
Wow.
that property.
How much money would you earn in a day working?
I don't know, but after those 3 months, and we kind of knew what it was all about, or began to get our footing, you know. We didn't know anything when we went in there.
Mm-hmm.
We decided we could pay ourselves $50 a week. That's when you was making $8 a week for
Yeah.
a 6-hour day.
During the 50s,
Oh,
that's
wow.
a lot of money.
So normally a person was making $8 a week and you guys were making $50 a week?
We decided that's what we could do, and we paid ourselves $50 a week from there on.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Cranking up there.
During the Depression, so that's great.
Well, you know, that's so true about if you work somewhere, work your 8 hours, you don't worry about it, go home and forget it. Maybe someday you can own the business, work 12 hours and have all the worry. And that's so true. There's this, a lot of times they call you in on a midnight shift because no one shows up, and then you've got to go ahead and work the day shift, you know.
Oh gosh. This is Francis and Frank Knorpp when they got married. And
1950 some probably.
Don't ask me, I don't remember. I've got it down, I'm sure, somewhere.
they got divorced and later both remarried. Frank remarried Muff Knorpp and
Francis married Bud.
Francis married Bud Finley. I don't know if Bud has a
Elbert.
different name. Albert?
Elbert.
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 Elbert Finley.
That was really Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
No,
Muff is
it's
really Maryland.
Her main.
Here's
How much do you want me to
Jacob
read
Frank
it?
Knorpp II reading a conversion experience.
Okay, this is Jacob Henry Knorpp, dad of William Sharp Knorpp, which was dad of Grandpa Knorpp, Kenneth Knorpp. And looks like he found the Lord here. It says, on August 13, 1896, death took his companion from his side, and he was thus left in lonely widowerhood and afflicted, but he was undaunted. For in the early 1880s he had been converted and united with the Methodist Church, and he had learned to trust in God and be resigned to His providence. He was a consistent Christian and a regular and faithful attendant of the church, and he was blind for 27 years. So it says Uncle Henry Knorpp was a man of strong personality, indomitable energy, benevolent disposition, deep and well-defined convictions, and always commanded the respect and confidence of those who knew him. So that was kind of a neat little story.
Grandma.
That's some of Kenneth's girlfriends. Tony,
Yeah.
Clara, and Nestling, Nebula, I think.
Is that before you got married?
Yeah. I hope.
What did
So,
that guy do for a living,
Are
Grandma?
you ready?
Check it out.
Here's,
Marie, Colleen, and
They
Zelda.
were farmers.
and they had a roll of 24 that they were filming on this day, and here they are
And
again.
that's
They raised corn
Colleen,
and
Twyla,
Black Angus cattle,
and Marie.
mostly.
Right?
Knorpp stood up there.
They were having a
They
good
had
time.
stores and bank.
There's Marie Knorpp.
Grandma.
There's
Huh?
Marie.
Said this is a neat story here on this Walter Knorpp.
Is that the one out of Phoenix, isn't it?
Yeah, he moved to Tucson when he was 14. He traveled.
Ellen.
Here's Marie and Alan McCoy,
One of the kids.
Oh, one of the
you know,
kids hung out with.
one of Marie's old boyfriends.
Up in that town before the freeway went through, when you still went through the town, and tried to find out about them, but we learned that they all left of a winter. You know, there were snowbirds and went somewhere. You know that I had information.
Marie and Colleen.
See the lady up at Pleasant Hill
And here's
went to Germany.
Zelda
Got
and Marie.
information too.
Says
There,
No,
Grandma.
it's not her. It's
This-
Zelda and Colleen.
Denver.
Who'd you
What
think
were
I
you
said?
doing
I
in
said-
Denver? You were.
I'm just holding this lady's little baby, just playing.
I remember when that hairstyle came back just recently, that kind of cut
Mm-hmm.
style. It's real pretty.
Now, at this point, you had moved up there with your stepmother and your dad.
We lived in Denver.
You
Yeah.
lived in Denver, and then you left
Come to
to
Joplin.
come to Joplin to live with your sister, your
Aunt.
Aunt.
your aunt.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where you met Kenneth. Right.
Mhm.
Hanging out with Thelma a lot.
Yeah, she was kind of by herself with that baby.
This is when Kenneth was out in western Kansas harvesting wheat. Is that what it is, Grandma?
Yeah. Yeah, he went out there to harvest because they just wasn't any work. He worked in the mines till he got a bad card on his lungs, and they wouldn't let him work anymore.
So then he went out.
harvesting, huh?
Went to harvesting, corn picking, and things like that. Till he got the truck and trailer truck and went to driving.
And then he went to driving trucks, and then you got the cafe.
Yeah.
About after that time, after he was driving trucks. And then after that cafe, when did you last sell your last one? Or did you sell it, or you just close them down?
I was 61, I guess, so just before we retired. He had to have eye operation, so we sold.
You kept him for a while then.
We were in 20 years.
Wow. A long time.
the dark river, and conveyed to that bourne from whence no travel ever returns, one who was due.
Beside Marie
Hundreds
Knorpp's
of
house over on the corner of Fidelity.
Okay.
Fidelity Corner.
And
There's more dates and things on James.
Here's some more pictures inside
And
Grandma Knorpp's
you know,
house
that was
on
his
the
first wife. Just
corner of
one
Apple
child.
Road
She died when they got
near
up there to
Fidelity
Kansas.
Church.
And
Used
he
to be
went
the
back
old
and
They knocked down the grub home and built this home instead.
Anyway.
Oh, do you have
Here's all of Joelda's family,
driving you
all
crazy
9
yet?
of the kids.
Are you enjoying this?
Here's some more here. Joelda had 9 kids and raised them all on her own. Husband left her, and she raised all 9 of those kids by herself
California.
in California. Here's a picture of Grandpa Knorpp before he had a stroke, Kenneth Knorpp. Here we have a picture of 5 generations. Grandma Marie Knorpp holding Michaela Knorpp, her great-great-granddaughter, Michaela Steele. This is the Doty House in Denver, Colorado, where Grandma Marie Knorpp lived before she ran away, or not ran away, but she went. This is James Preston Doughty's barn. He built it in 1903,
Doty.
and James Preston Doughty is the head and start here.
Okay, born 1910.
Oh.
And in Bronson, Kansas. My mother died when I was 10 days old. So my Aunt Lizzie Doty Kirkwood took me to live with her in New Mexico till I was 4 and a half. Then my dad took me back, and we lived all over Colorado, all up in the mountains, the mines and things.
Was he mining gold up there, or
No,
what was he
coal.
mining? He was mining coal.
And then finally lived in Denver, Colorado, just, well, time I was 14, 15, 16, along there. Then I left there and came to Joplin when I was 16.
Was things pretty bad for you there? Is the reason why you left, or?
My dad had built a little deal on the back of a pickup. Now back then, you know what, they haven't been there since. Oil fields was just starting in Texas. So they were going down there and make their fortune. He's going to take me to wash the clothes and do the cooking and things. And Donald and him was going to work in the oil fields. And I refused to go.
You're gonna live in in the back of a truck?
Yeah. And we got in an argument about what I'd be doing out in the oil fields.
Yeah.
And
What'd they say you were going to be doing, Grandma?
staying there and doing the washing and the cooking.
Well, they were out.
And I was going to be a playing. I wasn't going to stay in the back of that pickup. And got mad and left.
How old were you?
16.
16.
How'd you leave? You just...
My grandmother, I told her my problems, and she sent me, my mother's mother, sent me the money, and I come on the train.
Come on the train down to
That
Joplin?
lady had the little girl, you know, in the pictures there. She took me down to the depot. Well, I guess I rode the streetcar down to depot, but she helped me get ready.
Did you tell them you were leaving, or did
No,
you just head out?
didn't tell nobody.
Didn't tell anybody you were leaving. Just left, huh?
Yeah.
Just left. I didn't have any clothes hardly when I got here. Had to send back for clothes and things.
Wow.
No, I just walked off.
Just left.
No way I was going to those oil fields and stay in the back of a pickup.
Yeah.
So then when you came to Joplin, you were living with your grandmother? Or you were living with your sister?
My aunt and uncle.
Your aunt and uncle?
That's when I